So here we are in London at the O2 Arena. This is what dreams are made of. We've made the voyage all the way from Mevagissey, and I'm here in London with my manager, Dan. Dan, we're here at the O2.
Finally, yes, we've made it.
So you've been behind the scenes once again. You've got us going up to Liverpool soon, another job in London. We're back with Salisbury, but they'll be in Bournemouth. There's lots happening for the Barnet Boxing Barber, but tonight it's all about the O2, the Indigo, and the Night of Champions with Danny McLaren.
That's right, yeah. It's taken a bit of work for us to get here, and I just want to thank everybody, including yourself, Pete, cameraman, Heidi. We've got some other people working in the background as well, helping us out with some of the social stuff. So big thanks, we're here.
I've organised for some other people to come along, so there's some people I really wanted to interview. And, you know, the atmosphere will get going eventually. There's people milling around now, but there's a few people I wanted to see here, and they'll be coming down and we'll interview them.
Oh, Anthony Joshua!
So, Dan.
Let them enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, big fight night tonight. It's going to be a big crowd. Really looking forward to seeing people enjoying what's happening. Most importantly, everybody's safe. We've got a good crew of security here. The police are all lined up, ready to go. Got medical staff showing up in a bit. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can feel the atmosphere now, the hustle and bustle of fight night, and it's 2015. Anthony Joshua was last here at the O2, so the Anthony Joshua fans will be out in the droves tonight, and they're hoping for an AJ win.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, AJ just wants to focus on the fight, wants to get that out of the way and progress to probably some much bigger fights that he's already openly talked about. There has been talk of him retiring. That would be a real shame, but I'm confident he'll get the win tonight.
Yeah, I'm an AJ fan, and I think he's done a lot for the sport, and he's done a lot for young men growing up and wanting to push themselves. And if I get a chance to talk to him tonight, I'll have a lot to talk to him about, because the Anthony Joshua train needs to keep moving and needs to keep going forward. Matchroom and DAZN have got a lot planned for him after this fight, but Anthony will be solely concentrating on this fight. He needs to get the momentum going of the career of bygone years. He needs to put the two Usyk fights behind him, and he needs to push on forward and get going again, because I think he's got a lot to answer. He's got a lot to give back to the sport now again, and he'll be fine if he gets through this tonight. He'll be flying.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think there's a refocus on the training. The management team have probably looked at things differently and probably approached this a lot differently than they have done in the past. The expectation's different. We expect him to win, but he's going to have a real good fight tonight, and I think it'll go a fair distance, but I'd anticipate a 6th, 7th round end.
Jermaine Franklin's no easy pushover. Everybody he's fought has never lost, apart from when he fought Dylan White, and Dylan White had lost to AJ, and Dylan White just beat him on points there. So he's a good test. He's a firm test for Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, I mean, he'll come out of the traps really quickly. He's quite a bit shorter, so you'd expect him to sort of go for the low body punches and just try and grind Anthony down a little bit. But I think in true AJ fashion, he will persevere, and wait for his chance and then take it.
I think Eddie Hearn himself said when he saw Jermaine Franklin, he was very surprised of his condition, because he said, "Oh my God, the guy's got a six-pack." And yeah, he's took this serious. He knows that he can steamroller into the heavyweight division, and knocking Anthony Joshua over tonight will be the icing on the cake for his career so far.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think looking at a couple of interviews recently with AJ, he comes across differently. I think his focus and his mindset is different. Like I said earlier, the expectation's not as high, so I think that gives him the advantage for sure.
Yeah, I think it's making for a great night. We're looking at all the matchroom security around now, and this is a matchroom fight, and Eddie Hearn expects to get this going again tonight, and he's got big things for Anthony Joshua, and hats off to Anthony Joshua. He's not been as vocal about his mental health as other heavyweight champions, and he's shown his vulnerability over the last year or so. He didn't want to lose to Usyk. He'd really done everything he could for those 2 attempts to take his titles back, and he was feeling demoralised and down, and then to pick yourself up from that and keep going. We know what it's like as men, to be down and beaten and downtrodden, and then to lift yourself back up and get going, and here he is tonight fighting again to get his career going.
time away from the media, training camp probably somewhere a little bit different, abroad, somewhere a bit more quiet. Like I said before, the management team have probably bought something a little bit different, maybe some different coaching styles. I've noticed looking at his physique, he's slightly different than he did in the last fight.
He's looking bigger. I think it's the heaviest he's been for a fight. And this isn't for a heavyweight title. He's not actually fighting for a heavyweight title. So I feel like the pressure's off a little bit for him, perhaps.
Yeah, the weight thing, I mean, that's either going to be good for him, it also could be bad for him, but we'll have to see. But yeah, I think the pressure's off. The fights that you spoke about earlier, the expectation was way too high. We all expected him to win everything. You know, you can't win everything, you have to lose sometimes, and then take a step back like we do as men, refocus, reset, and then go again.
He's always fought game opponents, and you know, to jump straight in with Usyk after that loss, and if I was, you know, if I had him in my stable and I was looking after him, I wouldn't have wanted him to take that fight again straight away. And I'm sure Eddie Hearn didn't want to, but AJ's shown, you know, what he was like as a man and as a fighter, and he wanted to get back in there straight away and deal with him. Unfortunately, he came off short that night once again.
Yeah, it's the comeback plan, you know. Few fights just to build him back up again before you know, he's placed back in the ring with someone like Fury, and I do think Fury will be the next fight for AJ.
Yeah, it seems to be stopping and changing, and they can't make these fights. And I was talking with Ben Dougherty today about, you know, how I'd fell out of love with the heavyweight division at the moment because these fights aren't being made. So, you know, they really need to sort themselves out and get it sorted out amongst them, and you know, start fighting each other because it's just getting a bit ridiculous.
No, absolutely. I mean, look, you know, a lot of these fights now are taking place over in Saudi Arabia. People have got different views on that. Obviously, there's a lot of money there, but it's also turned quite a chunk of the fans off as well. Yeah. And I think we need to just get back to places like the MGM Grand. It's a great venue here, you know, it's really special, but then you've got Wembley obviously down the road. And I think maybe they should just spread it around a bit as well. Maybe pick up some other different, bigger and better locations. Yeah.
Well, listen, thanks for making the journey down here again. You came down by train from Derby, yep. And I've came up from Cornwall, and you know, Heidi and Peter have, you know, thank God they've come up as well. And you know, we're going to keep moving forward with the Barnet Boxing Barber. We're going to try and get those interviews and steamroller in and get the real people of boxing. So tonight it's all about the Night of Champions at the Indigo. But if there's anybody else around, we'll jump on them and we'll get that interview.
We're not afraid to grab hold of some good people and talk to them, whether it's security, celebrities, just the general public, the bar staff, whoever's involved. We like to bring it all together.
Yeah. But we really want the big one. We'd love to stand in front of AJ and have a chat with him about his journey and how he's gathered himself up and kept punching. You know, I tell everybody to keep punching, and that's what I'd like to say to him. Yeah,
we're going to make that happen for sure. We'll just have to you know, have a chat with the management team, see what happens with the fight. Really, a lot. You know, yeah. Before the fight, just after the fight. You know, if he wins, I'm sure it'll be pretty straightforward for us to do that. But let's have a chat with them, see what they say.
Yeah, let's get back into the Indigo now, and there's going to be a few lads turning up, and we'll see some of them fighters. They've got some great fights on tonight, and there's a mouth-watering main event that I can't wait to see. There's been a bit of beef between a few fighters, and it's building quite nicely in there. Yes,
and it just makes the event, you know, even more exciting, really. So yeah, there's a few fighters on the bout wants to look out for. I'm particularly interested to see how the juniors get on, to be fair, because that's something different that I've not seen before.
Yeah, you know, I'm a great advocate for women's boxing, and we've got a women's bout on there tonight. And like you say, there's some younger people fighting as well.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows really that the sport is starting to really take off again, and you know, boxing. Women, children, people struggling with mental health, it brings everybody together. We've said this before, we've seen it firsthand, we hear it in interviews. It's a really important sport. It's not about people feeling angry and sort of jumping in a ring and lashing punches at each other. It's actually the preparation, the going to the gym, the training. It's everything that makes it what it is today.
Yeah, and I think I'd like people to understand that the white collar, the unlicensed scene, isn't all, you know, big people fighting little people or unmatched people. This is very well matched tonight. These are matched in skill set, matched in weight. It's exactly as it would be professional, apart from it's unlicensed and it's white collar.
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, the word unlicensed, you know, it just brings, when I talk to people about that, they sort of look at me as if to say, "Is that legal?" And do you know what? It is legal. It's a great sport. We've been to some fantastic events. We'll continue to promote those events and the sponsors of those events. And it just gives everybody a platform to make that step up. If they didn't have that, how would they do it?
Yeah, and I was talking, they're not just stepping up, but some of them are stepping down as well. We've got the likes of Danny Williams, who was meant to be fighting John D.P. Shaw tonight. That's not happened through various reasons. John is injured. Danny Williams can't fight him, but that fight's going to be made in October. So, you've got guys been at the absolute pinnacle of their careers, and then they're coming down and fighting, white-collar boxing.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen time and time again people that have been out of the ring for 10, 15, 20 years, even more. Maybe something's changed in their life. And to go back to what I said earlier, about resetting the brain and trying to get back in the gym and try and, find themselves again. A lot of these sports people need to get back in the ring to be able to do that.
Yeah, and there's got to be somewhere for them to go, and white collar and unlicensed has filled that void between amateur and professional. And I've said it again and again. There's shows on every week, every day of the week, all around the country, and people can go and support these events. 25 quid, 40 quid, 30 quid. You can go and watch live boxing.
Absolutely, yeah. Sorry, I'm just conscious that we've got the crowd coming around now.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's all over the country.
Yeah.
We're going to be travelling all over the country, as you know.
Yeah.
We've got lots of fantastic events. Some only 200 people, some 5,000 plus. But again, it's about bringing everybody together.
Yeah.
Chatting to the boxers, the coaches.
Well, it's brought us together, and we're meeting some fantastic people in boxing. Yeah. So, it's fantastic. Boxing brings everybody together. Yeah. And, like and subscribe to the Barnet Boxing Barber. Take care and keep punching. Dan, thank you for keeping on this journey with us. Thank you.
No worries.